Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Scrap Empire. My name is Zach Hayes, and today we're going to be talking about a preliminary bout for this upcoming UFC Fight Night this Saturday, September 18th. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be featuring Zhu Rong going up against Brandon Jenkins. Now, as you guys are, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the fight with Zhu Rong and Rodrigo Vargas. Now, Zhu Rong, there's a fighter by the name of Patrick Day. He's no longer boxing anymore, but he used to train with this Japanese guy who was a champion in one of the smaller divisions in boxing. And Zhu Rong gives me a lot of that. He fights. He shares a lot of similarities with shares a lot of similarities with that guy from Japan, because Zhu Rong, he's a skinny guy, but at the same time, you can tell he hits hard just from the impact of his shots, right? And he's very, very, very focused when he's in the ring. I love the discipline that he incorporates when he's fighting. Just regular movement. He wants to hit his target at the designated spot, and the guy just has a fighter's attitude and a fighting spirit. But with that fight with him and Rodrigo Vargas, Rodrigo Vargas is more of he looks like he works construction for a living. I mean, he's kind of a short guy, but he's stocky, right? And so that's why I watched the whole entire fight, paying attention to everything. Now, Rodrigo Vargas knows how to take people on the ground. Not only does he know how to take people on the ground, he can take hits as well. So throughout the fight, Rodrigo Vargas and Zhu Rong, Zhu Rong has that. His boxing foundation is really, really good, really, really good. But at the same time, Rodrigo Vargas didn't allow that to take him out of his game plan, right? Because there were plenty of times throughout the fight where Zhu Rong landed good strikes against Rodrigo Vargas, but eventually it got to the point where Vargas was taking Zhu Rong down. He had his hands up as well, and he used his strength to emphasize on defense. So when you have short guys like Rodrigo Vargas, again, I'm only talking from a superficial aesthetic standpoint, all right? They have more of a shorter and stronger you are, the more of a thicker neck you're going to have. So, it makes sense why he was able to not get knocked out or to not get stunned by one of Zhu Rong's shots. Why? Because Zhu Rong he can hit, right? And you have to be mindful when you're going up against certain fighters such as Vargas. He has the defensive ability to not succumb to your offensive game plan. And he's a guy that wants the victory. So that's what I noticed about the fight, and that's why Rodrigo Vargas was able to get the victory over Zhu Rong. And now let's get started with the fight between Brandon Jenkins and Nick Compton. Now, when you look at Brandon Jenkins, tall guy, right? He has a caterpillar. He has a caterpillar, like, because the way how he throws his kicks, it's it's done to hurt you. But he's a caterpillar because he's just all over the place when he's fighting. But Nick Compton, on the other hand, we look at Nick Compton from a, when you just observing his aesthetics, right? Nick Compton, he has a good physique, and I'm not saying he's the strongest, but he has a good physique, and the guy, Nick Compton, knows how to put people on the ground. So Nick Compton was doing that throughout the entire fight against Brandon Jenkins. And yes, Brandon Jenkins was still standing up and throwing strikes while he was on the ground, but that contributed towards Nick Compton winning the fight unanimously, because he kept on taking Brandon Jenkins on the ground. And there were also some times where he stood up. He was also landing some strikes. Probably not as much strikes. And when I mean by strikes, Brandon Jenkins landed a lot of leg strikes as well. But, at the same time, Nick Compton landed some good strikes, and he had way more takedowns. I think he had about six or seven. I think he had about 6 to 7 takedowns throughout the fight. So, and I didn't see Brandon Jenkins really making that. I didn't see him making that a priority. I just didn't. So, we just have to. You have to understand. Brandon Jenkins, he reminds me of Zhu Rong as well. Like, they're both offensively gifted, but for the fight that Zhu Rong had and for the fight that Brandon Jenkins had, they went up against people who had better, who knew how to put them on the ground. So, okay, now we have Zhu Rong and Brandon Jenkins, both two offensively gifted fighters, especially when it comes to striking. Brandon Jenkins with his leg strikes, Zhu Rong with his boxing ability. But I will say, just watching the Zhu Rong and Rodrigo Vargas fight. Now, yes, Rodrigo Vargas won that bout, but during the fight, I definitely noticed Zhu Rong had more of an impact with his punches. You can hear it just from the way how he's throwing. And of course, I'm not negating Brandon Jenkins' striking ability, but I just don't think that is as complete as Zhu Rong. Even though they both lost the fights that I just mentioned, I'm still analyzing style, and that's what allows me to complete my conclusions. So I just see Zhu Rong being a more complete component. I just see Zhu Rong having a harder, he has more of a puncher's chance to knock him out. And he just has the style, the more conventional style to win this fight. And yes, that's how I see it. Now, I'm not saying that Brandon Jenkins can't win. He doesn't have to succumb to the victory. He doesn't have to succumb to the loss. He can strive for the victory. But I just don't see him having a conventional style that's good enough to beat Zhu Rong. So I see Zhu Rong winning this upcoming bout against Brandon Jenkins for this upcoming UFC Fight Night on September 18th, 2021, ladies and gentlemen. This is Scrap Empire. Thank you all for watching my channel. Please like, comment, subscribe to my content. Please leave any constructive criticism and feedback that you think will allow me to elevate my channel as well, please. And thank you so much for sharing the time for taking the time out of your lives to watch my video and watch my content, guys. Thank you so much and have a beautiful evening. Bye bye.